Good, y'all? Kabeh here again for another week, another video. We made it to another week. And today we have another simple breakdown, as we always do. And I made this sample yesterday, and I really like it. I don't know why, but I really like it. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna record a video, and I'm gonna talk about this and show y'all how I made this. So before we get into it, y'all know how we do it here. Let's listen to it in full, and then we can talk about this and break this down. So let's do this. Nice. So this is what we have here. I really like this. I think this has a chill vibe, I guess. I like this. I like how it sounds. It sounds like a rainy morning, I guess. So let's start breaking it down. As I said, I made this yesterday, so I have like this is pretty fresh in my mind. So I began with this Prophet pad. I just, opened up the project. I pulled up the Prophet VST from Arsuria, because I wanted to mess around with it. And then I just scrolled through some presets until I found this sound. And then I played these chords, so this is how they sound. A lot of stuff going on, right? Like, this has a bunch of textures, and as y'all can see, I chopped it up, messed around with it because the transient was kind of funny. So I wanted to chop it up. This is the MIDI for these chords. This is what I played. And I talked about this on the last video too, and I talk about this a lot. These are the same two chords, but to keep it interesting, I voice lead it differently every time you play, so you can see like this is different than this, and this is different than this and stuff. I do this on purpose to give it more of a flavor and more of a feeling, and not just like repeat these two chords forever. So this is what I do. But these are just the same chords. Actually, let me put this up here so y'all can see the actual notes that are being played. So if you wanna copy these chords. But yeah, I just opened up the Prophet VST, set on my keyboard, and just started playing some chords, and this is what I came up with. So after I got those chords down, I opened up the OBXA. The same which this plugin is emulate. It's really good for basses, or it has a nice flavor for basses. So I'm using it a lot recently to just put up some bass sounds, and this is what I came up with the bass. I do this a lot on my stuff, where this second part here, I go up an octave than what we were before. So I don't know, it just has this like tension feeling. So when it comes back down an octave, it has this like dissolving feeling, which is really nice. After I added this beep idea immediately came to my mind, but I just like searched Splice for some beeping sounds, and I found this. Actually, let me put up the original so we can see where this came from. It's actually just this one sound. Foley grocery store checkout item. This is really funny. And then since it's a melodic element, I had to put it in tune. So the original is this one. I just wrote it down. One semitone. Chopped it up because I don't want all this texture. And we have here, we have this. Pretty sharp. And this acts as a drone type of sound, which is really nice. After I added this, I put up the Stage 73 plugin from Arturia again, and started messing around with some chords. Actually, the same chords as the Prophet pad, but since I'm with the Rhodes, you can like jump octaves and it sounds really good, and you can make like different melodies and it sounds really good. So played the whole thing because this is how I did it. Like I pulled up the EST and just started playing, and I played this whole piece in one go, and then I just came back and like adjusted the time. Sometimes I get the chords wrong time, the chords times wrong. So I just came back and messed around with it. This is the MIDI. The way I did these like jumping octave chords, it's just with the sustain pedal. I have a DP10 from Roland, and y'all can see this is the sustain pedal MIDI information. By the way, all my gear is linked in the description if you want to know what I use. But yeah, just the Roland pedal and jumping octaves a lot and doing little melodies and cascading things. It sounds really good on the roads. So this is what I've done. I might have run this through Reels and then render it out. But for mixing, we have the Pro Q3. See how it's away? Since it's pretty, it's very dynamic. We have parts like this one, which is really quiet, and parts like this one, which is really loud. I wanted to get the dynamic down a little bit. Shaperbox doing a pen automation, but just with 27% of mix, because I don't want the whole thing, going through the speakers, but just a little bit. H delay, it's been my favorite delay plugin, my favorite echo plugin right now. I've been using this a lot and everything. It just sounds so like clean or crisp, or I don't know, it's just so good. Valhalla Room. I've used actually Valhalla Room instead of Valhalla Vintage Verb on pretty much all of these. And then we come back to this. We not come back. We go to the second part. I've initially recorded some vocals on this, but I didn't like how they sound, so I just deleted them. And then I tried to find a vocal that will fit this, and I found this. This is from Splice, by the way. Sounds really nice. Just quick, let me check. So this is the dry version. It's pretty in your face. I just used Decimore to bring up the sample rate a little bit down, because I don't want to have like bright vocals. I don't want it to get in the way of the actual vocals of the song. Shaperbox with another pen automation. This is on 56%, so it's a little bit stronger. H delay again, but this is a 1/8 triplet pattern here. Valhalla Room again, and Vintage Verb. This is really cool. Valhalla Room emulates rooms, right? So you can put your sounds in different rooms, in halls, and in different types of rooms. Or this is what I use it for. But it wasn't wet enough. The vocal still sounded a bit dry. And again, the point of this vocal is not to be the vocals of the actual song, is to be this one melody on the song with another actual vocal on top. So I added Vintage Verb, just 90% of the mix, but just to keep it more wet and more in the back. And what I've done is to copy this stage 783, this Rhodes pattern here, and then I just brought it down an octave. And this is what I did this a lot too. With the Rhodes, I played pretty high. And I played it pretty high here, and I kept the resonance and stuff to sound more analog. But I played it pretty high, then I just duplicated here and brought it down an octave. And I don't know, it just sounds, when you bring Rhodes down an octave, it sounds really nice. This is the same pattern as before, by the way. Just brought it down an octave. I don't know, it just sounds really nice. And with the vocals, you know. And to make this transition a little bit smoother, I played around with the elements that we had before to see what fits best. As y'all can see, I have this drone thing here, but I deactivated it so it's not playing. And after trying a couple of stuff, I figured that keeping the bass, at least for the first half of this repetition, was a good thing because it had an element that attached to the section before. So you have something in common here. Then I just drop it down. When I drop the bass down here, I don't want it anymore. I brought it just on the first half of that repetition. The point to convey here with this is that this is another section. This is just something to not throw you off immediately because it's something completely different. But after we drop the bass here, this is the point. Like, this is another section of the song. This sounds different than this. So, yeah, we can keep it going with this. And I just let it play. I really like this Rhodes pattern that I played, so I just let it play. Initially, I would have this vocal only play one part, like at the very end or whatever. But I really like this Rhodes, so I just let it play and let it do its thing. And so we come back to the original idea with the bass again and the drum. We come back to the original idea here with the bass, and what I've done here, again, this is when I change pitch. As I said, I brought the bass up an octave here, but I didn't want it to happen here, but I just recorded the second part with it an octave up. So what I've done is that I crossfaded these two pieces, so it goes up an octave and it drops down again. And it goes down again. Which sounds interesting, I guess. And then we have the drone again with the vocals. With the Rhodes. This is it. And we have a couple textures here. I use these textures a lot. This is just some crackling sounds. I brought it down a bunch and then I panned them, one to the right, to the left, one to the right. Again, to convey that this is another section, I bring in another texture, this cassette noise. And I leave this in the center. And I just let it play to the end. So this is basically it. Let's check the mix. I don't think I've been talking about the mix this whole time. So the bass, without any plugins, yeah, it's pretty bright. obviously I didn't want all that brightness, so I just put up a Pro Q3. You cut out all of that, and then our bass you just get it a bit more fat. So this beeping sound, again, Pro Q3 cutting out the highs and the lows, edge delay and volume room. And this profit pad, we have a Pro Q3 cutting out the lows, yeah, bringing the highs up a bit. This is new. Apex again to bring up the highs a little bit more. This is an exciter, wider to keep it more wide, Valhalla delay and Valhalla room. And this is the whole sample. It's pretty simple. As I said in a previous video, I've been doing more simple samples, I guess, nowadays. I'm not making a lot of those like complex ones and stuff. I just like this idea thing, like this little idea. I think it's a nice idea that can lead somewhere cool. So I guess we're done here. I really appreciate you if you got to this point. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my kit, Eagle One Shot Kit on outofideas.co. Check out other people releases too. We have Pool K, we have my kit with Choose, we have Piso, we have a bunch of people on the website. We have 99. We have a bunch of people on the website. Check out the releases. They're all good. And yeah, click the link in the description, the subscribe and the like button and all that stuff. We'll see each other next week in another video for sure. And thank you.